Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we've got the tinfoil hats are on, and we're going to be making some bold predictions here about what's going to be happening this month. And yes, I'm going to be predicting that we're going to have a guaranteed champion within probably the next couple, 2 to 3 weeks, that is going to be our second ever guaranteed void legendary. I'll not even make a prediction as to who that champion is going to be. So to basically set the scene, the last time that we had a guaranteed void legendary, and in fact it was the first and so far only guaranteed void legendary, was Riho Bone Spear for 90 void shards back on the 26th of April. That was almost 4 months ago, so it's been quite a while, and I think it's not unlikely that they might aim for a void legendary every 4 months. Every 4 to 6 months I think is pretty reasonable. You know, having 2 to 3 guaranteed voids per year I think kind of makes sense. And if we look at what has happened since then, we've have Rafmatab, Kandrafon and Ragash from Ancient Shards, and from Sacreds we've had Sissia and Nekmothar. And in fact, in July, so just the month just gone, right, we had both Ragash and Nekmothar. So you've had these two types both back to back very recently, and seeing as we've had 3 from Ancients, 2 from Sacreds, I think just in terms of spacing this stuff out, I think it's quite likely that Void Shards should be due sometime soon. Let's jump over to a calendar, which I've beautifully colored in, and you can see this is August and the stuff that's happening in Raid Shadow Legends. So first of all, I mean, CVC here in brownish is, we had one just the week gone, none this week. There will be a CVC the following week, and then another the week after. The Fusion started on Friday, and that's going to be running all the way through until the 18th, Thursday the 18th. Tolarian Summer Trials, the reward for that is going to be kicking off on Monday the 22nd. So, I mean, depending on how much stuff they have unstuck from that buffer, we shall see what the rewards for that are going to be. I am curious, by the way, there's a big question mark about this CVC in particular. This one right here, the 16th, 17th. If this was personal rewards, this would be 3 personal rewards CVCs back to back. But this does fall under the Tolarian Summer Trials sort of prep event, where we're still going to be building up Tolarian Summer Trial points. So there's definitely a question mark for me as to whether or not they will do personal rewards here to try to boost up those points for Tolarian Summer Trials by forcing people to be more active. There's going to be hella outrage if there's 3 personal rewards back to back, but it's something to just watch out for, right? Don't be entirely shocked if it happens. I think there's probably a 50-50 chance, to be honest. We'll see. 2x Sacreds was over here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah. So this upcoming weekend is going to be a 10x event, which is going to be part of that fusion. And then we're going to have the 2x Void event this next week. And this is where stuff comes together for me in a pretty big way, because I'm going, okay, it seems around about time that we would have a guaranteed void legendary. It's been a while. We also have 2x voids, and we know that they like to do guaranteed champion events near to these 2x events, right? Because it tempts people to spend. Either they put it in after the 2x event, so you've spent your void shards in the 2x event, hard to resist, and then you go, ooh, but there's this guaranteed void legendary, I want them, I better go buy a bunch of shards. Or else they go, ooh, look, before this 2x event, look at this guaranteed void legendary, you go and you grab it, and then you go, oh, the 2x event is on as well, man, I wouldn't mind buying, you know, a few cheeky shards for a 2x pull. What's so wrong about that, you know? It tempts people into buying when they are back to back, and it basically means that you can't be well stocked for both events, in other words. So this is kind of convenient timing to me. Would it be before this 2x event? I think it's possible. They could do a guaranteed void legendary on the 16th, 17th, so basically in a week from now. I think it's certainly possible. It would overlap with CVC. It would overlap with the end of the build-up event for Tolarian Summer Trials. It would overlap with the end of the Fusion. I think this is possible because the Lanathril Fusion is so difficult and it's been so poorly received. I think it's going to be the least participated in Fusion they've ever done. It's the first one that I'm going to be properly skipping. I think a lot of people are going to be skipping it, so they might throw in the Void Legendary here to sort of boost that up. I think probably more likely, though, I think the 23rd, 24th is probably more likely to me. That is a reasonably empty week as it stands right now. There's just going to be a 10x event after that. It's sort of after the Fusion, CVC after 2x Void. We have this sort of gap where the Tolarian Summer Trials are on, but we really don't know how good those rewards are going to be. I would think that a Guaranteed Void Legendary in here, in this gap, is a nice little news piece to boost up that week. They could also do it the 30th, 31st. I feel like that might be a little bit too long after this. It would be overlapping with probably a personal reward CVC. But yeah, my bet will probably be these two dates. Now, the big thing that could definitely throw this off is that we could as well be seeing Ultimate Death Knight come in. We could be seeing Ultimate Death Knight come in, and that would be a sort of a big release to fill up sort of this end of the month, right? We're pretty sure he's coming in August. I highly doubt it's going to overlap the Fusion. This is also Ultimate Death Knight territory. Now, here's the question. Would they do Ultimate Death Knight as a Guaranteed Void Legendary? I really hope that they don't. I really hope that they don't do Ultimate Death Knight. I think that would really suck, especially after 2x Void, because there'd be so few people actually able to take part in it. I think that would be a huge bummer. Bearing in mind, Riho is in for 90 Void Shards. So I'm expecting, you know, around about 100 Void Shards being the requirement for this. That's an awful lot of Void Shards. So yeah, I really hope they don't do that with Ultimate Death Knight, though I wouldn't be surprised to see something about Ultimate Death Knight coming out here. Possibly as a login reward champion, or possibly, I hope it's just something that's easy and accessible. So login reward, or some nice, easy enough event to grind out some points in. Perhaps a Path of Light event starting on Thursday and running over the weekend. That could be pretty cool, like a Path of Light starting here and running all the way across and like over to here. Horrible line, but you get the idea. Path of Light event with Ultimate Death Knight as the reward. And it's something that lots of people could participate in. So a relatively free gimme, but still something that they would make money off of. I think that also would probably appeal to them, which would leave room for this Guaranteed Void. So who am I predicting the Guaranteed Void is going to be? I don't think it's going to be Ultimate Death Knight. I think they've been hyping that up a bit too much for that to be the case. I actually think it's probably going to be Raka Viletide. I just did a video on her this weekend, and I think it's very likely it's going to be her. She's new. She's the new Void Legendary. Added into the game, she is a support champion. She's got a team cleanse with a shield. She's got an AoE revive with block debuffs. She's pumping out continuous heals and turn meter boost with her passive, healing with her A1, speed in all battles aura. I think she's very, very good. I did a video on her. You can check it out. There are some reviews in game. People are giving her 4 overall, so they think she's good. And that certainly, I thought the comments on this were very interesting. These were the comments, the top comments on the video, comparing Raka to Duchess. So, for example, the top comment, figuring that Duchess is better, and we'd rather have Tuhanarak. Tuhanarak, I think, is the other top contender for Guaranteed Void Legendary. We'll talk about that in a second. Raka is Duchess, better than Duchess in PvE, but worse than Duchess and Sifi in PvP. Better than Blind Seer. Raka's really good, but a little bit worse than Duchess. Again, slightly worse. If she was guaranteed, I'd definitely be getting her, despite having the other two. Interesting. And then shout out to Brad J saying, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you're missing one of the best YouTubers to cover raid. Thank you very much, Brad. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I think Raka is kind of a prime contender. She's new. They like to do new legendaries as the guaranteed champions. They really like to do it because people don't have them. So they will pull all those shards to get them if they have those shards, or they can buy those shards, get those shards, you know? So I think that makes her very likely. I think that she is really good. I mean, the idea of Duchess versus Raka being a genuine discussion, I think that makes her an extremely attractive option, even if people think she might be slightly worse. The fact that she might be even better in PvE content, possibly, you know, it's that real question. I think that she is very alluring. I think she is a very interesting option as that guaranteed void. And also someone that's not going to completely break the game. I think that's something as well. That she's not the S+ tier, you know. People would probably be more excited for Sifi or for Duchess to get those. Raka's not quite as good as that. I think that makes her sort of the perfect guaranteed champion. basically like an A to A plus tier champion, maybe even S minus champion, but not like the S plus. That's typically speaking kind of the area that they go for. That's generally speaking what they do. But I know they've been like I said, there've been really good ones in here. Like Sissia is insanely good. Kandrafon's insanely good. I think Ragash Nekma, they're all really good. They don't put bad champions as guaranteed. I think Raka fits the bill. I think she fits the bill for sure. And yeah, that's my prediction. So what do you think? I think the backup option would be to Hanorak, which is a similar thing where she's also extremely good and very, very cool, but she's not going to completely break PvP. But it's extremely good for PvE. So like Tuhanorak's insane for Hydra. Increased defense, increased speed. Then decrease attack block buffs that can be buff spread to all enemies. Decrease speed A1, pumping out continuous heals. And then debuff cleansing from your team at the start of each one of her turns. And then accuracy in all battles aura. Tuhanorak's a top tier S tier Hydra champion. So I think she's a good bet as well. Again, for me though, my vote does lie with Raka. I think because she is new, she's got the new factor. She looks incredibly cool. I think it's just the new character that it makes sense. And if you don't have Duchess, you are obviously really going to want to go for her. Even if you do have Duchess or Sifi, you know, she's still up there. She's still, you know, you still might want her. I don't know. So there you go. That's my theory. I think it's going to be probably here. I think outside of CVC, I think there's quite a reasonable chance that we're going to see that guaranteed void after the 2x voids, and that it's probably going to be for about 100 void shards. I think is pretty reasonable. A lot of people think that's a bad deal. A lot of people get confused about that. They say to me, they said with 90 void shards, that's too many void shards. And again, in that context, you're completely misunderstanding how shards work in this game. This should be 150. Let's be real. This should be 150. A void shard is just a different colored ancient shard that gives you different champions, right? But if you look at the chances, like ancients and voids, they're identical. They are identical. The mercy system, ancients and voids are identical. A void shard is just a purple colored ancient shard. It has the same return on legendaries per shard, right? You get the same amount of legendaries from void shards as you do ancient shards. So by rights, a guaranteed should be priced at 150 void shards. I think the reason that they didn't do that is that it's simply not possible to buy 150 void shards in one go. You just can't do it. It's too expensive, and they don't have that many available in the shop, so they can't, which is why I think it's a bit lower, and why I think that these events are going to be more rare as well. But there you go. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.